Just in case somebody enters the chat and tries to say that they're first, they're not first. I'm first. I hope shit is working. I couldn't see if the thumbnail actually uploaded. Welcome to the Minkle Jackson Show. We're live on YouTube as well as live on Track Talk Radio. Priscilla will be joining us at 7:30. We got a live show. I'm sorry, I was fooling around with the camera and it was acting funny. I don't know. I hope y'all can see my dusty ass. Shout out to everybody that follows my social media. I've been receiving a lot of feedback that the photography session that I was involved in turned out really well. So I appreciate y'all. I want to give a shout out to Markel, and her photography skills are off the damn chain. Like I've been telling you guys, if you're looking to book your summer sessions, your return from quarantine and trying to get fresh pictures after you get these haircuts and get your nails did and get your toes did, all that type of stuff, you need to reach out to her, man. Listen, it's worth the moolah. So get your money ready, reach out. Her info is, go to my post, man, and click her name, because I don't think I put her email and all that type of stuff on there. But if you click her name, go to her page, it has all the details. You can link up with her, and then she'll get you some great photographs. So shout out to Markel. Thank you so much. We appreciate it, because now people are showing me love when they probably don't need to. So it is a lit. Like I said, first in the comments. It always feels good to be first. If you're not first, you're last. Sorry, I got a burp, man. I just got done eating dinner. I was shoveling the food down my damn throat. Almost choked on the rice and chicken that I was eating. I'm trying to eat a little bit because I've been putting on, quarantine pounds. So we gotta scale that shit back, man. Because just in case, if I get the email from LA Fitness and they talking about it's open, I ain't gonna lie to you. I'm probably gonna pull up to hoop. I don't want to speak for all my friends, but I also feel like they will pull up to hoop. Now, I know what you're thinking. You're probably thinking, all right, you bozos, you're going to break quarantine just to go play basketball. I know. That seems risky based on the fact that most Americans are urging people to stay home. I get it. I fully understand that you want me to stay home, but I don't think you understand my fat ass needs to play basketball more than anything. Listen, I need basketball right now more than I need sex. And I'm just saying that because basketball is a very important part of my life. It's what keeps me sane. Part of the reason why I've been going crazy lately and struggling with this quarantine shit is because I haven't been able to play basketball. And I do not like that. But I also don't want to be one of these people that ends up being like, F the quarantine, we're going to go out, we're going to do all of these things, and then, end up catching it and then fade. Now, I don't want to do that. Shout out to Markel. Markel's in the chat. Markel, egphotography@gmail.com. Did I say that right? Yeah. There is the email address so you can book your sessions. We'll shout this out several times throughout the course of the night and for the rest of the time that we have this show open, because Markel is, photographer extraordinaire. We're going to try to find a way to keep her on retainer. That way, when I need to shine up a little bit, I can get some fresh photos done. And keep in mind, I'm not even looking my best in these photos, but they make me look like I'm on my way to stardom. And that's what we're trying to do. So, Markel, again, shout out to you. I really appreciate it. You actually made me look good. And even my mom probably liked them. I haven't talked to her, so I don't know if she actually did, but hopefully she replies to that text message. Man, I hope my mom is doing all right. I have not heard from her and my sister in about a week. Maybe they've taken each other out due to stress from coronavirus, man. I know it's hard out here for some people. So let's get into this. Like I said, we got Priscilla joining us at about 7:30, but we're going to try to give you guys some of these updates. Yes, I know that there's glare from my glasses, but I'm telling you like this. My old ass is getting to the point where, although yes, I can see, I can't see when I'm trying to read the stuff on the screen. And it is important that I read this and I read the stuff on my phone without having to hold it like this to my face, because I look like a goof when I go back and watch these videos, and that's what I'm doing. So I'm going to wear my glasses now, and then hopefully what will happen is I will be able to read a little bit better, because that is most important in this moment. So thank you for your patience and your cooperation. You know what we didn't have? I did not have photos with me and these fresh ass glasses. And I ordered 2 new pairs of glasses. So when they come in a couple weeks, oh my God, I'm going to be flexing on them for real. My beard is looking good. I'm looking kind of good. Once I shed these LBs, it's over. I'm going to be the man who has ruined all other men for you. If you watch The Office, you get that. Let's see. We got to intro the show at some point. So we got less than a minute, and then we're going to get into these topics. Like I said, Priscilla will be joining us at 7:30. You are tuned in live to the Me and Cool Jackson show. This is season 2, episode 3 or some shit like that. We're live on Track Talk Radio as well as YouTube. Be sure to like, subscribe, follow, go to all the social media platforms. Type in my name, Me and Cool Jackson. I'm easy to find. Let us know what you think about the photos. If you don't like them, that's cool. You probably just mad because you ugly and you didn't get none. So, or you're probably going to leave accurate feedback about how dusty I am. But also, shout out my sweatshirt, man. That Air Dwight hoodie is filthy. So let's get into it. Get money. Let me lock this. Hey, welcome to the Me and Cool Jackson show. All right, I've been trying to sing the intro every week because I'm thinking one of these days maybe I'll sing something that's hot and it'll stick, but that shit is terrible. So I probably need to record some drops and actually put a real introduction on there. But thank you for tuning in. Welcome to the show. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to kick back and relax, and we're going to sit back. We're going to chat with y'all. Yo, man, this is the Me and Cool Jackson show. We got Priscilla joining us in about 30 minutes. And we're going to get into some of these topics. There's one that's really funny that I want to wait until she gets on to talk about, because I want to get her feedback on the type of activities that she feels like people should be doing while they're bored in quarantine. And I'm going to ask her about this one particular activity and ask her if she thinks that this is a safe thing to do. And I'm going to tell you it involves a person being stuck inside of a washer machine. And I'm honestly confused at how you do that, because if you are bigger than the size of like a second grader, how in the F are you fitting in a washer? That is some crazy shit. So we got a story about a girl being stuck in a washer. We got this Louisiana pastor who defied the state's stay-at-home orders. Apparently, he got arrested for assaults. He's out there wilding. Then apparently, there's a Chinese doctor who says that his skin turned brown. So he went from being a Chinese dude to now he's a black dude with a Chinese accent. And apparently it's based on his treatment that he received from coronavirus. So for all you white folks that was out there that was begging to be able to have a reason to say the N-word and, you know, be able to do all the stuff that black people do with little to no consequences, you might be in luck. If you get coronavirus, maybe there's a chance your skin will turn black. I think you'll still end up getting your ass whooped if you try to do all the stuff that I just said. So do not do what I just said, because that could get you hurt. But if you were somebody that's been looking at some ways to add more risk to your life, and this was one of the things you were planning on doing, like some of the people we've featured on some of these stories in the past, here might be an opportunity for you. And then you're going to end up on my show getting your ass roasted quicker than a damn marshmallow at a freaking campfire. So Buddy turned black apparently, and is due to the treatment that he's been receiving for coronavirus. So we're going to talk about that. I got some jokes that I'm going to make about him. You kind of heard a few of them, but here we go. We also have states that are opening up tomorrow, which is very weird to a lot of people because everybody thinks we're all about to die. So they still want people to stay home. But the state of Georgia thinks otherwise. They believe that they should be able to open up, live their lives, do whatever they want to do. And the mayor apparently of Atlanta is not happy about that. I I can't say that I blame her. It's going to be interesting. But we're also going to talk about how Trump basically, what did he do? He kind of convinced everybody they need to stay home. And then he kind of like propped them up to like get them to like wild out and protest to beg for their freedoms back. But then now he's also kind of being like, nah, maybe y'all should stay home, but I'm going to stay out of it and I'm going to let your governor decide what you should do. That shit seems weird to me. My man, it just seems like he's just, he's just poking the bear, always constantly trying to get everybody riled up. But I've been saying this for the longest time, and I've heard other people say this. He's terrible at his job. But I think if he were to just say, look, I'm done with this whole president thing and I'm about to drop a comedy album, I feel like that shit would be funny. He'd be somebody that you would hate, but it would be funny. And a lot of the stuff that he does and says is so dumb that it's funny. So we'll definitely get into that. We are also going to have a mental health check-in, check in with my peeps, see how everybody's doing. I'm going to let you guys know how I'm doing. I'm actually in really great spirits. I've been laughing my ass off all day, mainly because I've been going back and watching a few of my favorite shows on Netflix. It's the typical stuff. Actually, I'm about to cut on the evolution of hip hop because I feel like that's going to be lit. And I've seen some of that and I know most of that is lit. So I'm about to get into that. But I went back to watching some comedy shows, shit that keeps me in good spirits. So we're going to talk about that. Obviously, we want to give a shout out to Sherry and Track Talk Radio. We also want to give a big shout out to TribeToast.com. If you guys haven't had a chance, you should go visit them and look at a lot of the products that they have to offer, especially if you're a fan of CBD products. This is something that can help you out during this quarantine time. We've had fans of the show purchase their products and give nothing but 2 thumbs up. So the products are good. You should go check them out. What else do we got? We want to give shout outs to all the new followers, everybody that's been liking, subscribing, joining the Meme Cool Jackson fan club. It's weird to think that there are people who are fans of this show. So shout out to you guys. I want to try to not refer to you as fans. I feel like you were just my people. So shout out to all my new people, man. Welcome to the team. I'm happy to have you. Appreciate your love and support, and we're going to keep rocking. We are going to also talk about this versus battle with Teddy Riley and Babyface. And I'm going to tell you why I feel like I'm qualified to comment, even though I didn't watch either of them. And I'm only going to say a couple of things. But we're going to talk about that, and then we're going to talk about other versus battles that people are hoping to see. If you have not heard about this, this is something that Swiss Beats and Timbaland put on, and they have artists battling and basically using their catalog, songs that they've created, produced, written for, done whatever, and they're basically just doing live concerts. So it's pretty cool. It's big time heavyweights, classic artists rocking out to their catalog. So it's pretty cool. But I've only just seen clips, mainly because when I heard Babyface versus Teddy Riley, I already knew Babyface was going to wash him. There was no reason for me to watch that. Shout out to Teddy Riley. He's classic. He has classics, but I'm not a big fan of that. So we'll get into that. And then also we're going to do some shout outs. Shout out to my homies who have other shows. The guys like Big Baby Jonathan. He has got a podcast. My man, Yoga Leroy. We're going to try to get him on the show soon. He's going to have me on a project that he's doing later this week. I'm not sure if it's a podcast or if it's just a live video or what, but my man is a comedian. He's funny as hell. He's one of my people and somebody that I look up to. So he's definitely someone, when he asks for a favor, my man, he got it. So he's going to have me on something. So we'll keep you posted about that. There'll probably be video and all kinds of clips and stuff like that. And it's me and it's him. It's 2 funny motherfuckers in a room. Well, he going to be in a room. I'm going to be in a room because we're in different states and it's quarantine shit. So he cool, but he ain't that cool. I don't got my face mask just yet, fam. But and shout out to the face mask people. Whoever this company is that I ordered this thing from, I'm going to show you guys when I get it because it's a really dope office face mask, and I'm going to get all the info. We're going to shout them out and praise them until the end of time because I think this shit is going to be fire. So When that pulls up this week, we're going to get into that. We also have the Las Vegas mayor, or maybe it was the governor. Where either one of these bozos is out here wilding, talking crazy about offering up the residents of Las Vegas as the people who are going to lead the charge in this little experiment. What I like to deem as, will we die or won't we die? Who knows? So basically, the lady was saying that she was okay with her residents reopening all that stuff and using her city as, a control group. That seems very interesting because it sounds like citizens are not really here for that. But since Priscilla lives in Vegas, she can give a real take on the situation, provide her perspective, and then also tell us what she's planning to do. I'm eager to hear what her plan is. And then the last thing that we're going to talk about is Slim Thug. I don't know if you guys heard, but late last month, he came out and he said that he had tested positive for coronavirus. Today, I realized, because today there was a video that came out that said he's tested negative. So now he's virus free. And it was interesting to me that in late March, when he said he tested positive for the virus, that he also had an album that dropped on March 27th. Now, I'm not accusing. I'm also not being a hater. I am a fan of Slim Thug. But I was wondering today, I'm not going to say he lied, but it's mighty convenient that the same time you get hit with the virus, even though, and his story was that he wore gloves, he wore a mask, and he did all these things. He took all these precautions. He did all the stuff that he thought was the right thing to do, and he still got it. And then he ended up with it. And then because it was in the height of the time when we all thought everybody who had it was probably going to die. Like I said, I'm not accusing him. Maybe it's just like, hey, this just happened to happen. We had that album slated for this time regardless. I get that happens. But I have some questions because, like I said, you get diagnosed with it and then all of a sudden your album comes out. Now, I don't know if the album did well or not. I did download it. I have not listened to it. And I'm going to tell you why. I've been listening to Alan Stone lately. Sam Smith has some fire out. Who else I've been listening to? Was it Brent Fires? He's been out. Let me pull it up. Who else have I been listening to? Cal Scrubby. I always got him in rotation. I went back to some old Kanye. Tory Lanez had a new project. Shout out to Tory. That was hot. There are other people who took priority over Slim Thug. I don't think that is bad for me to say. If I'm just being honest, after Like a Boss, I just wasn't as interested. But now I am interested because I want to know if he just tried to finesse some album sales. And I know what you're thinking. You're probably thinking that I'm an asshole because he's diagnosed with the coronavirus. So this probably seems like I'm taking shots at him. And I promise you I'm not. But I think it's a fair question. Like, you had an album coming out and then all of a sudden you pop up with this virus. And then a couple weeks later, now we've been able to tell, like, did your album do anything or did it not? And now you can come out and be like, yo, I feel better. Because it's been a couple of weeks. I feel like that's a fair thing to ask. And like I said, if it's not, then okay. Then I'm wrong and maybe I'm an asshole. Like I said, I'm a nobody at this point. I have a mediocre show. Now, actually, this show is dope as fuck. But I'm sure that my show is not being watched by Slim Thug or his people. But if it is, I welcome them to join the show and come talk to us, hang out. Like I said, I'm not accusing. It's just something I was wondering. So we are going to take a really quick break. And then hopefully shortly in a little bit, Priscilla will call in and then we'll get her on the show and then we'll dive into all this stuff. So if you are listening, I appreciate you. And what I want you to do real quick while we're on this little short break, go to my Instagram page, go like all of my pictures, all of my memes, leave a ton of comments, tell me that you're a fan of the show, and go on YouTube, hit that subscribe button because the $300 gift card giveaway is still active. And this is what I've done for you. I think we had, what was the number we had? I had some weird, unrealistic number on there. I think it was like 1,100. I think we wanted 1,100 subscribers, but now I see how lazy everybody is on the internet. What I'm going to do is we're going to give away the $300, 300 stimulus dollars. We're going to give this shit away when we hit 200 subscribers. I think when I checked it today, it's at like 90. I feel like it's really possible to get it to 200. Once it hits 200, we will have the gift card giveaway. And what I will also do is we'll have a second and third place. And what I will do between now and the time we get 200, I'm going to make a couple of items of merch, and we will give those away to the second and third place person. Second place gets a hoodie, third place gets a hat. And you'll get a hat with my logo on it. The cool thing about this is it means you will be the first to get one. It means you will have it and I won't have it. I'm literally going to get it, buy it, and make it for you. I'll even put your name on it if you would like. And you can say that you were the first ever to get merch. And I don't care what deals I might have promised anybody else. I'm doing this for the fans because they deserve it. So if you are a fan of the show, go like and subscribe. And you know what I'll even do? People who are a part of the show, you can. So if you've subscribed and you want one of these, either the hoodie or the hat, you can enter. And there's a chance for everybody. So if we can get it to 200 subscribers, we're going to give away the $300 gift card. And then we're also going to give away merch. Easy peasy. So we're going to take a short break. Sherry, good looking out. Glad that I sound great. It's because I'm well hydrated today. I've had lots of water. I feel like I'm thinking clearly. And I have my tea. The tea is always helpful. So, like I said, we're going to take a short break, get into this music. We got some Forgot About Dre, and then I got some King Los, and then maybe some Jagged Edge. You might hear all kinds of stuff tonight. So, stay tuned. Thank you for tuning in. Like and subscribe, and we'll be right back. Let's get it. All right. So the show is live. Shout out to Markel, our wonderful photographer. Shout out to Priscilla. Shout out to James. Shout out to Cheese. Shout out to all my people. Shout out to Jeff Squad. And then shout out to my man, J Cabs, Jared. That's my guy. These are all people who are, they're my people, my close people, people who've been a part of the show. So I'm giving shout outs to everybody today. It's Thursday. Honestly, man, I don't know what week of quarantine this is, but this shit it's actually starting to get kind of cool. You thought I was about to have a complaint. No, I'm going to tell you like this. No, I don't like it. I would prefer to be out and about, but when I really think about it, like even when everything is active, where do I be going? Anybody that really knows me knows it's like freaking, it's like trying to get a running and screaming 2-year-old dressed when you're trying to leave the house and you got to be somewhere in 5 minutes. That's what it's like trying to get me to leave my dwelling. Like I don't really like to do a whole lot. And so really, this is kind of a cake thing for me. You know, playing a little bit more video games. I've increased my Halo skills tenfold. I used to be ass, and now I'm getting better. And so shout out to my man Keith, who's one of the greatest Halo players I've ever played against or with. I've been challenged him to one-on-one, but he's been a little bit too scared to play me. So yeah, you heard it here first, bro. I'm feeling that confident. So like whenever you're ready to pull up, got my number, bro, so you can get that one-on-one fade. And I'm talking so crazy right now. Now I probably won't even get a kill, but that's where I'm at, man. So, you know, I've gotten back to the video games. Obviously, we were able to get a new show up and running. I've actually had, it's been kind of nice because I decided to actually get out of the house. So, you know, go on some walks, got some exercise in. I could probably stand to do a little bit more. As you can tell, I've packed on the pounds. I'm looking like Tim Allen and the Santa Claus. But, you know, other than that, I feel like, you know, my mental health is starting to shift back to actually being kind of good. And a lot of that is because I just finally just decided that, look, man, life is not that bad. I need to be grateful for what I have and just be focused and not focused so much on what I don't have, more focused on what I do have. So that's why this shit is lit, man. I feel like my energy is better. Um, so I'm excited for the week ahead. Like I said, I don't know what week of quarantine we are in, but I at least know at the very minimum that I think tomorrow is Friday. The days are starting to blur together. We've been flying through the week. I've logged a lot of hours of video games and Netflix and Hulu. I feel like I've probably talked on the phone with people more in the last month than I did the past 33 years of my life. It's a guarantee. And I've worked at call centers. So even with that time, you're talking about 40 hours a week. In this last month, I've exceeded that amount of time, probably by at least hours. I feel like I'm always on the phone, which is crazy. I'm someone that hates talking on the phone, but I still do it. And I've actually enjoyed it. I feel like life has become a little bit more simple. We have food to eat, there's shelter, everything is good. So life is good. Hoping that next week will yield some good results with these shows. We have some projects that I'm trying to get off the ground. I have some collaborations that I'm trying to do with some people. And I'm still trying to record this album, this comedy album. I said that as if like you thought I was about to drop some like R&B shit or some fucking rap album. No. Don't get it twisted. It's a joke album. It's not meant to be serious. I do not want people trying to say that I'm out here trying to become like some rapper or something. That's not the deal. I tried that before and I was terrible. If you've seen, and no offense to any of the other people that were in the projects that I was in, I think my part and me specifically, I was not meant for rap. I should not have been in those videos, but I still low-key kind of have bars. And because I have jokes, I feel like I can make a successful comedy album. If Weird Al can do it, then his weird ass can step to the side and let me take over. And I'm about to bring you guys one of the hottest comedy albums in the history of comedy albums. So that shit is going to be fire. I'm excited about that. I'm excited about this video. Priscilla and I have had this video to remake the tip drill video, but it's going to be comedy style. And we're not going to rip off Nelly, but we are going to wear do-rags and have Band-Aids on our face and probably wear FUBU. Was Nelly wearing FUBU? No, what was his clothing line? Nelly had, what did Nelly have? I know besides the Air Force Ones, he had something else. What was his clothing line? What was that shit called? That's going to bug the hell out of me. But I know Nelly had a clothing line. And I remember I had like a shirt or some pants or something. It's going to come to me. But either way, we're going to make our own comedy version of that video and then turn Tip and Drill into like a sketch comedy show. Well, maybe. I don't know. That's the idea that I pitched. I'm saying it out loud because I want to see how it sounds to the people. And I think Priscilla will be on board. It's either going to be a sketch comedy show or it's going to be something else that's fucking weird, but it's going to be hilarious. And I think you guys will enjoy it. So we're going to try to work on that. But the tough thing is it's hard to do that when you have people who can't get close to each other because of quarantine and all these other things. So we're going to work on that. But we have lots of good things to come. So I hope you guys stay tuned. I'm trying to bring the funny to you. So this is the perfect time to do it. 2020 is going to be the year that I end up being the funniest motherfucker you've ever heard in your life. So get ready. We got about 15 seconds and then we're jumping back into the show. Like I said, I think Priscilla's going to be calling in, but we'll see. Let's get it. Get money. Man, let me cut this off. All right, welcome back, man. You were tuned in to the Michael Jackson Show. We're live on Track Talk Radio. We're going to dive into this real quick. We still have Priscilla calling in, but because it's 7:30, I want to go ahead and get this shit going. So I saw a story today, and I understand, you guys, people are in quarantine. Shit is getting boring, but I don't feel like I'm this bored yet. And obviously the kids, teenagers, that they're going to do stuff like this. But it's weird to me that you would even want to put yourself in this situation. So we got a teenager who had to be rescued because they got stuck in a washer while they're playing a game of hide and go seek in their home. Now, like I said, I know some of y'all are bored, but fam, you gotta know that it's gonna be hard as hell. And it's not a small kid, it's a teenager. Hard as hell to get in the washer and then try to get yourself out. So they had EMS come, the whole shebang. And it got me thinking of things that me and my friends used to do as kids, to where like emergency services or cops would have to come. And so I thought of a couple of stories. I figured I would give y'all some insight about me. And so one of the things I thought of, it involved a fire. No lives were lost. Let's state that for the record, because I don't want y'all to spend the entire time listening to the story thinking I murdered somebody. No one was harmed. Wait, was somebody harmed? No. Nobody was harmed. No one was harmed. Don't worry. People were almost harmed, but no one was harmed. So me and my homeboy Greg, we would play with a lot of fireworks when we were super young. So we like to blow shit up, just do stuff that boys do, because we were young little teenagers. It is what it is. So what we would do is we would take fireworks, we would break them open, and we will pack all like the powder and all that stuff into film canisters, little things that film used to come in, a little black with the gray top. We'll put rubber bands all around it and then poke holes in the top so you could put the fuse out. So we basically would just make explosives, but it didn't like do anything. It just was loud as hell because you're packing it full of like 10 to 15 fireworks. You break them open, pour them in there. It is what it is. The only problem is that we're so damn dumb. We used to do this shit in the summer. And so I grew up in Florida. So in the summers, it's 100 fucking degrees. Everything is hot. It's flames, like all of that. And we would do this in the woods behind our house. And so one day we get up and I meet up with my homeboy Greg. We make these little bombs. We do the first one in between my house and our next door neighbor. So at the time, my dad when I lived with him, he lived next door to a police officer. This guy's the canine unit. And we put the shit on the fence that connected our two houses, and I lit it, and then we let it explode. I mean, no disrespect to Chris, but me and Chris was cool. Like, I knew Chris wasn't about to like haul me off to the station for this shit. And so we thought that shit was funny. So we go out to do another one, but we go out to the woods. And so everything out there is dry. We probably hadn't had rain in however many days. But because it's just loud, we're not thinking about sparks and like, all the stuff that's going to be flying in the air after the explosion happens. All we're thinking about is just going to be loud. So we light it, it explodes, we run away laughing, turn around, and we see that there's a fire. So I run back over and I go to stomp it out. And so actually someone did get harmed. I got harmed because I had burns on my legs. And I know what you're thinking. I probably had the shit coming. So I received instant karma, and that was very unfortunate. But I tried to put it out with my feet. Greg kind of helped, but he was a little bit nervous. And I could understand why, because by the end of the story, you're going to find out that his dad like almost killed us both. Like I said, we had that coming. So we run to his house, we get a bunch of like water bottles and like a bucket, and we're pouring the water on. Because it took us so long, by the time we got back, it was basically a full-on fire. And it was spreading through the backside of our neighborhood, like towards people's houses and shit. And I feel bad because I'm laughing now, but I know it's not funny. And I want y'all to understand that I know that it's not funny, but it's funny. The fire is spreading. It's a big fucking fire. Like, and so when his dad comes out, the fire department's on the way, and his dad's like, "What happened?" And so they were doing construction behind the area, like building houses and stuff. So me and Greg said that it was one of the construction dudes probably smoking, and they didn't put it out, and he lit the woods on fire. I'm thinking we're getting away with it. They put the fire out, they leave, it's no big deal. obviously we're shook, but like apparently Greg couldn't hold it together. And his dad comes to the house, he's like freaking out on me. Greg told me what happened, da 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 da. And I forget what he was saying, but shout out to Mr. Bill. Mr. Bill's like, an extension of, our family. He's good people. So when he was yelling at me, it was like he was yelling at one of his own kids. So he was spazzing out on me. And I really didn't realize until after the fact, but we almost burnt down like 5 houses. This shit was crazy to think about. After that, I stopped messing with fireworks. But here's where the karma really, really kicked in. We fast forward about 3 years later. At this time, I'm about 16 years old. And it's 4th of July. And me and one of my really good friends from back home named Dan, it's us and like a handful of other people were at our homeboy Ryan Cassiano's house. And I'm saying his full name for any of the people that, watch this show from back home, who I was dealing with. So me, Dan Watts, Ryan Cassiano, a bunch of kids we used to hoop with. We end up having like a firework war in his front yard. And this was the second to the last time I ever played with fireworks. All of these stories involve fire and somehow me getting burnt by shit. So we're playing, we start shooting the stuff, and I shoot a Roman candle, and it hits Buddy's car. Buddy freaks out, and I'm talking about Ryan. He waits for his opportunity, and at one point he gets probably about this close to my face with a Roman candle. He aims, and when I go to smack his hand down, he hits me about 3 times in the chest. So there's burn marks on my skin from this happening. He also ended up like raising it up just in time and hit me right below the eye. So I've always felt like this was karma for me almost burning down my neighborhood. It ends up being kind of funny because then I end up shooting one, hitting him like in the head or some shit like that, which ends up being like a whole crazy thing. And then like a year later, I finally was like, I had to be done with it. We're all together again on 4th of July. And me and Dan, we start shooting off the Roman candles. And it ends up flying into this wooded fenced area, an area that is fenced with barbed wire on the top. And we burnt that whole shit down. So when you get really, really bored, which was the point of my story, this poor girl who ends up being dummy of the year for getting stuck in a washer. I'm telling y'all, when you get really bored, you should go read a book or something, or freaking go try to like count the stars or something. But I don't advise you playing in a washer. Don't play with fire. Don't pick up firearms. Like when you get really bored, it's when bad shit happens. So this poor dummy ended up being stuck in a washer, having to get pulled out by EMS and having the cops come. I wonder what her mother thinks. Because if you've ever had, this poor little black girl, if you ever had to show up to your house and you have a black mom, you already know that was probably game over for you. Game over. And I know my sister can attest to that because when we were kids, she called 911 one time. And it was because I had told her that if she dialed this number, she'd be calling Michael Jordan. And she fell for that shit too. Damn dummy. I feel bad saying that, but yo, fam, you should have known Michael Jordan's phone number wasn't 3 numbers and it wasn't 911. And at this time, she was already like in the 1st grade too. So I know that they talked about 911 at the school before. And I feel like my sister should have known better. She's a little bit slow, maybe. I really don't know. But she really was believing that Michael Jordan's number was 911. She called, and then my mom made her sit on the front porch and wait for the cops to come. Which now that I'm looking back on that seemed kind of dangerous because we lived in an all-white neighborhood and people made it very clear that they did not want us there by burning shit in our front yard. And she really had my sister just sitting on the front porch waiting for the police to pull up. Now that's foul, Von D. Now that I'm thinking about that, you foul for that. But you know what? You taught her a lesson because I don't think she ever called the cops again in her life. And that's, we don't really be calling the cops like that. So let's get to this Louisiana pastor who apparently had the cops called on him, and it was for assault, which is strange because this is the same guy who decided that he did not want to listen to the stay-at-home order. And I think Louisiana is really, really tight on their stuff down there, and they're like not playing around. So it's very interesting to me that this guy was just like, you know what, fucking, I'm gonna do what I want to do. Does not seem like a wise decision. So, Baton Rouge police officers arrested a pastor on an assault charge on Tuesday after he admitted that he drove his church bus toward a man who has been protesting the pastor's decision to hold Sunday services. Jesus Christ. So my nigga tried to run a dude over because the guy's protesting the fact that he has the church open. Let's see. The pastor's services violated the public health orders stemming from the COVID-19 pandemic. The authorities in Central, a suburb of Louisiana State's capital, Baton Rouge, posted on their Facebook page that Pastor Tony Spell of the Life Tabernacle Church was arrested after turning himself in. Spell is being charged with aggravated assault and improper backing. So wait, he just like was backing up and tried to run him over? I mean, I feel like it's not a Prius, bro. You use the church van to like run a nigga over. Like, I mean, bro, let me read this to you. Spell was transported to the East Baton Rouge Parish Jail as 70 of his church members arrived at the prison for support, gathering in the parking lot across the street, singing church hymns and praying as they stood side by side. Spell was released from jail to cheers from his supporters after his wife posted his $175 bond. So let's recap. He's a pastor who tried to run another human being over for protesting the fact that he kept his church open, although the state that he lives in told him that it needed to be closed and everybody needed to stay at home. He tried to run him over with a church van. His bond, $175. Now, I'm going to go back a couple of weeks because we did a story on a young man who also in another state violated the stay-at-home order. Now, there are some differences to this story. One of them is that this guy is black, this pastor is white. Another difference is that this pastor tried to run a human being over with a car. This guy just happened to be recording a party where he happened to say, fuck coronavirus on multiple occasions. The pastor's bond is $175. This black man's bond was $350,000. You see where I'm going with this? This shit is crazy, right? Can you imagine? I want to live for like a week, maybe 2 weeks in the body of a white man, just so I can see what it's like to be able to do whatever the fuck I want and not have any real consequences. Fam tried to run a person over with a church van. He has a $175 bond. That's it? Are you kidding me? This shit is crazy. So he goes on to say, my rights to have church and to preach the gospel of Jesus Christ are endowed to me by my creator, not my district attorney, not my chief of police, and not my governor. I mean, and he also said, not my president, not my Department of Justice. Okay, so he's name dropping at that point. We get it. You know all the people who have put these rules in place for you. I got it. Let's see. His arrest occurred the same day that the East Baton Rouge Parish had reported the death toll in Baton Rouge had reached over 100. Jeez, man. And then shout out to the guy who got run over, Trey Bennett. Shout out to you. He was the one who accused the buddy of the assault, and he showed up to the jail holding a sign that read, "Close this church" on one side and "Danger, coronavirus incubator" on the other. So Trey was still talking shit to this pastor while Buddy was locked up. Shout out to you for kind of being a boss, but kind of being a sucker at the same time. That shit seems weird, but this is very interesting to me. Like I said, I feel like I feel like white guys have it made in America, because only in America can you try to run a person over with a car because you're upset that they're protesting you, which is actually their right. In the same breath that he's saying it's his right to have his church open and all these things, it's the other person's right to protest without having any sort of real consequences unless they overstep boundaries. And you took it upon yourself to try to run him over, not in your car, but in the church van. And now I'm wondering, was there anybody in the van? How crazy would that be? Imagine he's like on the way to like a picnic or some shit like that. And then he's like, yo, I seen this guy 10 times this week outside protesting. I'm tired of it. And then just veers off to the side and then, runs the nigga over, and then they pull over and they, they have their sandwiches and stuff like that. I wonder if the churchgoers would turn him in though. I mean, they all showed up in support. It would be hard for me to want to support the dude who just openly tried to run Buddy over. Like, we don't have to have church that bad. Like, I don't know. Maybe that's just me. I'm sure there's a ton of people who would disagree, but I don't feel like the services are needed that much that it's worth running somebody over. That's crazy. Shout out to Trey Bennett for getting run over and then living to tell about it. And then, kind of shout out to this pastor for, really trying to test, what your limits are as a white guy. You're complete garbage, but you ran a nigga over in a van. You tried to run him over with a van. I'm baffled by that. It's unbelievable. So remember, use a van, run a dude over, $175 bond. Record people at a party saying F coronavirus, $350,000 bond, probably going to stay in jail for months. Can you guess which one of these people is black? Anyway, so our next story. So because we're, obviously on the subject of black people, I want to talk about Chinese doctor's skin turns dark after treatment for coronavirus. Buddy morphed into a black dude. So like I was saying earlier, I was doing a story on, was it Tuesday, where we had a young lady. Oh shit, we got Priscilla calling. Yo. Hey, yo, what's cracking, dog? Priscilla, you can hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay, you called just at the right time because I'm getting into the Chinese doctor whose skin turned black from coronavirus treatments.
Is that true? Did that really happen?
Oh, I don't know if this real. I feel like this story is bullshit, but at the same time, it's funny enough that I feel like I owe it to the people to talk about it. So when I introed the show, I made a couple of jokes that I feel like were pretty funny. And one of them was, how we've been talking about how we did on a story on Tuesday where the white girl was saying the N-word, her and her boyfriend in a video. Oh, you had to go. So I finished the show where I was basically crushing this girl because she gave the fakest fucking apology. That little high school girl with her and her boyfriend in the mirror saying the N-word and all that stuff. And she got expelled. Yeah. So I think if she got the coronavirus, this would be the perfect thing for her because maybe she would receive less backlash if she would have just allowed the process to take place and let her skin turn black. So I was thinking for some of these white people who are hella eager to say the N-word, do all of these things, this might be the opportunity for them. But the only downside is, there's multiple downsides, but you're going to have to contract the virus. So that's probably not ideal. But if they're looking for ways that they can do this, white people aren't scared of much. They're really only scared of black people. So I bet they'd be willing to brave the coronavirus to maybe see if their skin would turn black. If it can happen for this guy, it can happen for y'all.
I need to figure out the science behind this. How does this happen?
I don't know. So it says 2 Chinese doctors who contracted the coronavirus while treating patients in Wuhan have survived the virus, but said one of their side effects was their skin darkening after they were placed on life support. That doesn't sound real. Has there ever been in the history of humans someone who was put on life support and then changed colors? Is that what happened to Michael Jackson? Is that what happened to Sammy Sosa? If not, then the
So
answer is no. This can't be real.
enough, and it's absolutely real. It's been science.
Wait, say that again?
I said I'm looking it up. It's absolutely real.
Bro, this is crazy. I don't want to butcher their names, but these two doctors were diagnosed with COVID-19 on January 17th while caring for patients at the Wuhan Central Hospital. Wuhan was the epicenter for the virus. The virus brought the physicians' health to a life-threatening state, and eventually they were taken to the Wuhan Pulmonary Hospital and then transferred twice. The Post reports that the doctor's skin pigmentation darkened due to the hormonal imbalance after their livers were severely damaged by the disease.
Yeah.
However, one doctor believes their skin changed as a result of a specific drug the two had taken during their start of their treatment. Yo, I don't know. This is crazy. I mean, Buddy, like, honestly, he looks like how some of these girls be looking when they leave the tanning bed. He's pretty close to being black. This is crazy. This is fucking crazy.
Well, I know.
Like I said, I was just making jokes about this. White people, please do not try to contract coronavirus so you can see if your skin will turn black. It's not worth it. Wait till the tanning bed opens up and then y'all go give yourself, the spray tan or whatever. That's as close as you're ever going to get. Trust me, it's not worth it. You wouldn't be able to handle the pressure of it anyway. So don't even try it. Priscilla, we're doing our mental health check-in real quick since you called in. What's been cracking? How are you doing?
I have been doing amazing the past couple of days. It's been 90 degrees. So
that's dope.
I've been getting up in the morning, getting the school stuff out the way with my daughter, and then we just go outside for the rest of the day.
Yeah, that's dope. That's awesome. Okay, you know what? Since you are here, I have on the sheet, we're going to talk about the Vegas mayor. Let's get into that. So you are a Vegas resident. How are you feeling about her comments?
So first off, I have not liked her since I moved here. She's just kind of like this grouchy old lady to me. As far as her comments, I don't like the fact that she just volunteered me. First of all, she basically volunteered us all as guinea pigs. Like, yeah, can we like build on this or something?
Yeah, she really like just kind of put y'all out there. Like she don't really care if you guys live or die or not. That's kind of weird.
I feel like she's just like so gung-ho about it. She's like, it's not like there's no middle ground. She's just like, fuck it, let's open up the biggest, most populated portions of the city, like the hotels and the casinos. Yeah. Just say fuck, like.
Yeah. So I was thinking this. It was very interesting because, I mean, obviously I'm not a resident, but I also kind of feel like she said something that made me feel like, yo, she has a point. And only in the aspect of when she basically was volunteering y'all's lives, obviously, like, we got to test it somehow. So even as much as we don't want anybody to go outside because we don't want anybody to like make it spread more, we don't want anybody that we care about to end up catching it because they're too eager to go out and get a haircut or, get a freaking massage with a happy ending. We don't want people doing bullshit like that because we want them to be safe. But at the same time, how do you know if it's safe to go if you don't go? What do you think?
Well, there's been this big phrase here talking about, when science dictates it's safe, right? So, of course, I guess everybody's talking about flattening the curve. Yeah. The reality of it, too, is that one of these states, one of however many of us, what is it, 50, 52, we're going to have to be the first to do it. Yeah. Not us personally, but like one state is going to have to be the first. So I don't think anybody's attitude towards opening things back up is going to be a positive one in considering the situation. Yeah, for sure. Even if it's mid-May. And truthfully, you're going to have to practice social distancing and wear masks everywhere now anyways. Like, the virus just isn't going to go away.
Yeah, for sure.
So, I don't know. There's a lot of places where social distancing isn't working.
Yeah, when I started the show tonight, I said that I probably, like, if I got an email from LA Fitness and they said the gym was open, I would want to go to the gym this weekend because I want to hoop. And it's not that I don't care about the rest of you. I'm also, and anybody who really knows me can vouch that I've already been in this mindset for many, many years. But I am someone who lives my life as a whatever happens, happens. So I leave the house every day prepared to not make, you know what I'm saying? I know that sounds crazy as hell, but that's just kind of how I live. So it's not that I'm saying like I don't care or like, oh, F it, it's not going to do nothing, because I am someone who is also like, well, let's let's wash hands and let's practice social distancing and let's not interact with people unless we know them and know where they've been, all that type of stuff. So I am cautious, but like I do feel like if the gym opened up, I would go to the gym. God, does that make me a shitty human? Probably. But I would fuck it.
I miss the gym. I would go to I couldn't technically go to the gym because I don't have anybody to watch my kids. But
yeah,
if I didn't have them and I was in this situation, I'd go to the gym.
Yeah, like I don't know if I'd want to go to the barbershop, get my hair cut, or I don't know if I want to go to the movies or go bowling. Those are all things that I love. But I feel like the gym would definitely happen because I don't know, man. I need a hoop. But I feel like that's the type of stuff that people really hate about people who are eager or too eager to want to go outside. And you know what's really interesting? When I first heard of the protest, and I'm going to tell you guys, this is because I'm not like a really politically charged person, so I don't know a lot of this stuff. But I honestly, when I heard people were protesting, I assumed that it would be people like me who were, just a little bit bummed that they would stay at home. I did not realize that it was going to just be all of his people protesting him. That was very interesting to me. Now, you're probably thinking, well, that's stupid because you should have known, but I'm telling you that I didn't because I don't pay attention to this shit. But it's funny to see all the people protesting wearing their MAGA hats. And then here's a funny one. Now that people are upset that they're protesting, because this got sent to me in a group chat today. Someone sent this thing. It says protesters leave their homes to protest protesters who left their homes. And it's literally a person with a sign that says, how many lives is your haircut worth? But it's like, the fam, you outside too, though. Like, so what do we do, man? Like, I don't know what to do at this point.
I don't know. I think people are going to fight about it until it's just inevitable. Like, we've got to open up. Like, I get it. Obviously, I get it, but I can't. Yeah. I can't picture us doing this much longer.
Yeah. Not without people freaking losing their minds. Yeah. Man, I don't know. It's tough, man, because it's like, I feel like a month ago, it was like every day we were hearing like crazy numbers and then like all these different people are fading away. And I know that I have not been on Facebook in like a week or so. And maybe that was just where it was hitting and people are just resharing it. So that's probably why we're seeing it so much. But I don't feel like I've been having the same amount of alerts on my phone telling me about another person or like the numbers going through the freaking roof. Like, I haven't been getting those. And so it does make me wonder, like, are we in a period of time where maybe we're starting to, like, it feels like we should be drifting back to normal life because maybe it's not as heavily talked about, or am I just crazy?
No, I think it's just an unpopular opinion, but people are going to have to start facing it eventually. And I don't know. I don't want to get sick at all. I don't want to get the flu. Yeah. I don't want to get allergies. I don't want to get COVID.
None of that shit.
dirty draws. I don't want to do anything. So I'm going to be protecting my ass regardless of if everything's open or not. So
yeah, for sure. I feel like that's how I'll be. I mean, I ended up ordering me a little mask. I got one. So I'm going to tell y'all, this shit's going to be lit. So I got me an Office one. And if you ever watch the show The Office, you know they have a video that Dwight and Michael make where it's called Lazy Scranton. And it's two of them doing a rap video. So I got a face mask that has a picture of them two on it. That shit's going to be fire. But you know what? I should have ordered like 6 of them. Just so I can have different variations. Because now this shit's going to be like an accessory, man. People are going to start buying these things and wearing them like they wear hats and scarves and glasses and all that shit. So I got to make sure my face mask match my glasses, and that's got to match my shoes. And I'm going to be pulling fresh to the club, boy. Would you think you'd ever go to a club after this, like a nightclub?
I don't go to them usually, but probably not.
Yeah, I was thinking that too. Like, I don't go to them now, but now I definitely never would go.
I don't like the idea of people like accidentally touching me to begin with.
Yeah.
So like that whole, oh, I'm gonna bump into you and I gotta get to the bar. That's never been my thing. I'm a germaphobe, naturally.
They bumping into you because they're trying to like cop a feel. That's what they're doing.
You're like, let me sort this right now.
Like, I'm trying to get to the bar. I didn't mean to grab all that ass. I'm sorry. Like, we know that's what people do. Yeah, that don't happen to me at the club. It's interesting, but that don't happen to me at the club. So I'm sorry that happens to you, but obviously you ain't going to the club now, so it's not a concern. Let's see. Did you get a chance to look at this list, man? I was talking about, so let me ask you something. When you've been at your most bored, what is the dumbest thing you've ever done? For instance, let me give you some examples. Like maybe started a fire that you didn't need to, or been stuck in a washer and dryer, or maybe like, what's the dumbest thing you've done that's kind of like that?
I'm trying to think. Oh, you know what? It could work. So I was stuck in the house and like I had like a cleaning bug, you know?
Yeah.
And I couldn't remember like what chemicals weren't supposed to be mixed together. And so like I'm cleaning my toilet, I'm cleaning my bathtub and my shower, and I had a small ass bathroom at the time. And I just kind of like poured a couple things together and I don't know what I made. But like the house reeked of chemical, like the whole house had to be aired out for like 3 days.
Damn.
It was horrible.
Yo, you damn near tried to kill yourself. That's what you tried to do.
Like a little bit of bleach, a little bit of Mr. Clean, maybe some ammonia. I don't know.
Yo, fam, I'm not like a scientist or anything, but I don't think you're supposed to just mix chemicals like that.
No, definitely not. I learned my lesson. I was kind of thinking it was a little bit over the top for people to say that until science happened.
Yo, you want to know something crazy? So when I was in middle school, I know one of the cool things that kids used to do, and I know some of y'all are gonna laugh because I'm gonna make myself sound really dated at this moment. But when I was in middle school, one of the cool things to do was to like crease your pants like really stiffly. It was weird. Like everybody was walking around with the freaking creased up jeans and shit like that. And I really wanted to do it because I wanted to be cool like everybody else. And so I asked like, how do you do this? And and they're like, you got to get this spray and then you got to spray it and then you got to iron them and So obviously I'm way too eager. And my ghetto broke ass also only had two pairs of pants. Shout out to my mom. My mom worked very hard, but listen, times were tough. It is what it is. So tell me why I try to get my pants to look like how all my friends look. And I end up basically burning a hole in the thigh of my pants. This was the craziest shit ever. So all because I wanted to have creased up jeans, I end up burning a hole in them shits. And I was devastated because you know what I did wrong? To do it to the best pair of pants that I had. So I'm going to tell you what this forced me to do. I then had to go into my closet, and anytime I wanted to wear pants for the rest of the year, I had to wear corduroys to school. All because I played myself by trying to get my jeans to be all cool and creased up so I could look like my other friends. Then I ended up looking like a fucking bozo. So if you can imagine this, imagine me in this half turtleneck Nike long sleeve shirt, navy blue. I can't believe I remember this. Green corduroys, not fitted well. I probably, you know how like if you ever seen Harry Potter and how he comes out of the closet and he's wearing Dudley's old clothes, this is how I fucking looked. So I had that on and I had like Adidas shoes on, bro. I was looking like a square. I cannot believe it. Crazy as shit, man. So it's one of those times where I was the biggest regret in my life because of the fact that I realized that all because I was trying to be cool, I played myself. Priscilla, you there? I don't know. I keep hanging up.
It sounded like you were underwater for a little bit. It was super weird.
Oh, no, I ain't underwater. I'm just still in the room. I don't be underwater like that. I can't swim, though, okay? Because I know people are going to be like, oh, he's black, you can't swim. Yes, I can swim, okay? But anyway, I was telling people how I played myself when I burnt a hole in my pants and I had to wear corduroys to school for the rest of the year. God, that was so embarrassing. 7th grade was tough, man. That was real tough. All right, Priscilla, let's get into these. Let's talk about this story. Where is it? So, are you a fan of Slim Thug?
I wouldn't say I'm a fan. He's all right, but
okay, so
he's not my cup of tea.
Yeah, and I feel that. I feel like I was telling people earlier, Slim Thug was hot to me right around the time when he first came out. And then after like his first couple songs, I was like, oh, this was cool. And then I moved on to something else. A lot of rappers, I'm sorry. A lot of rappers. But anyway, so Slim Thug, late last month, he came out and said that although he had been taking all the precautions necessary and he was wearing masks and wearing gloves everywhere he went and all this, he still ended up contracting the dirty draws virus.
Yeah.
And so this is at the time where you remember late last month, every time we heard of somebody getting it, we automatically went to, everybody sending thoughts and prayers. We thought everybody who had it was going to die. So obviously our thoughts and prayers were with Slim Thug. We wanted him to make a full recovery. But it was interesting. One thing I noticed is that he also had an album drop on March 27th. Now it's been about a month, and now today he comes out and says that he's coronavirus free. I'm not accusing him of anything, but I wanted to ask you, based on the situation, do you think that some of this, or maybe some of him announcing that he had it, was maybe related to him trying to push the album?
Well, I'll say it. In that whole video he had announcing he had dirty draws, he did not look very convincing to me. So I don't care. That was to push his album. He's pretty much irrelevant.
I'm sorry, Slim. I didn't want to say it, but the lady has spoken. She has spoken. No, I feel like that's fair because it's interesting to me. Like I said, if he had it, obviously, props, my brother. We're happy to still have you. I'm glad that you beat it because I know it's probably not an easy road. I know I'm saying probably we think that we're survivors of this, that we had it earlier in the year, but I've tried to stop saying that because I think the joke is getting a little bit played and people are really starting to get upset because I'm also somebody that refuses to go to the doctor and get tested. I know what the guy told me. He told me he couldn't tell me what I had, but I had all the symptoms and I went through that excruciating 10-day period of freaking horrible coughing, awful fever, and like all the other bullshit. So shout out to Slim Thug if he really had it and he beat it, because that's a big deal. We didn't want you to fade away from it. But bro, if you did this as a way to push your album because you knew the second that people thought you were going to die, that they were going to go to iTunes and Spotify and YouTube and all these platforms and then stream your catalog, that's foul. Because people will get paid off the streams. Once they click it, man, doesn't that count as a unit pretty much? That's a quick way to make some good money in a month, even if your album's not doing well. Or even if overall it ends up not doing well, he can still say, well, in a month we had 500,000 clicks. And that could have only come from the fact that he said he had coronavirus. Because I'm not going to lie to you. The only reason I found out that he had an album that dropped in that month is because when I look at iTunes, it popped up as like a suggestion for me. Because for some reason, they thought I would be interested in that shit. So I don't know. I think maybe it's for the album sales. And now
that's what I'm saying. Like, who was even looking up Slim Thug until he came out and said he had it?
Yeah, and isn't he bald now? I didn't even know he was bald. I thought he still had braids. This is interesting.
I'm not a fan.
I wonder what the album did. I'm gonna look it up. Do they put stuff like that on the internet?
Yeah, it should be on. If you just Google like Slim Thug discography.
Let's see. Latest album.
Oh, just his latest?
I want to know what his latest album sold. So let's see. It's got to tell you, right? Yo, he's got 11 studio albums. I didn't know that. And 17 mixtapes. Jesus, my man's been working.
Wow, really?
That's what his Wikipedia says. Yo, I need a Wikipedia. We got to build that up. Say I got 37. I mean, I actually do have like 3 mixtapes, though. They're not good, but I still have them.
Your tip drill video.
I talked about that earlier. I was telling all the people that were about to do that. So don't be playing, because you know that's coming. It's not.
I just need a red do-rag.
Yeah, I know. I told them we're going to be in the do-rags and everything. So if anybody who's listening can like really, I don't know how to find this, but I want to look up to see what his latest album sold. It's so far. It dropped on March 27th, at least on the iTunes. That's where I saw it. But if we can find out what this sold, I would be interested to know. Because then I would want to ask him, like, fam, was it worth it? Was it worth it to pretend like you had coronavirus? Or maybe he's not pretending. I don't know. I shouldn't have said that. But I don't know. Priscilla thinks he was pretending.
I sure do. I mean, I guess that's a pretty heavy assumption, but I'm going to just go with my gut on this one.
Yeah, I kind of am too, if I'm just being honest. Very interesting.
Or, I mean, he could have just been smart and said, hey, like, while people are actually still Googling my name, let me cut this mixtape.
Yo, you're a wild one. He might be, though. That's probably what he was thinking. Priscilla, let me know your honest feedback. You see some of these photos we took? You think they're all right? I think they look pretty good.
They're all right. I especially like the ones for starters.
Hey, I think they look pretty dope. Shout out to Markel. Markel left her email in the chat. So it's markelegphotography@gmail.com. If you are looking to book your fresh out of quarantine photo shoot, this is the person to do it with. Slots are limited. Yes, there are fees, but she has really good deals, especially if you are looking to get good pictures. You need to book now. I feel like that's something you need to do. Priscilla, we gotta talk about this video, because we need to make this within the next 6 months. All right.
The tip and drill video?
The tip and drill video needs to be made within the next 6 months, and then we need to start this sketch comedy show by Christmas. That's dropping December 25th. Sketch comedy show, tip and drill.
I need to get rid of this quarantine body beforehand.
Yo, you and me both, man. I was literally talking about that earlier. Like, yo, I'm looking like 10 big ass apple pies right now. That I need to cut back for sure.
I actually worked out today, though. I was proud of myself.
What'd you work on today?
I did legs and butt today.
Okay, I didn't do none of that. I did some push-ups and a few sit-ups, and I did some core work. And I didn't do it for long, but I did it enough to feel a little bit of burn, and my back was starting to tighten up. I should tell you something about me. I've been slacking, so I need to get with it.
My neighbor's brother came to the front of my house, and he was like, I need to talk to you about some business. And my kids were like acting a fool behind my screen door. And so I was like, oh, yeah. And he was like, well, I can catch you later. But, I think he saw me working out in my backyard because he was like, I've never been this fat in my life. Like, he like paused hell along and then just like spilled the beans. So apparently he wants me to train him.
Yo, this is okay. Your neighbor's name is Denise, right? Is this Denise's brother?
Yes, this is Denise's brother.
Oh my God.
Yes.
All right.
He was supposed to put together my sectional and then thought I had the Rona and never came by again.
So Denise's brother first made an appearance when he offered to build some patio furniture for you, right? That's how he came about.
Jeffrey Dahmer-ish.
Yeah, and so it was all. I mean, when you and I talked about this, we were almost certain that he probably planned to murder you. I'm glad that you didn't let him come over there and do that. But also shout out to Denise for apparently putting a stop to him, because then you hadn't seen him for forever, right? It's been a little while. And they just popped back up.
I know her too. She was probably like, don't go bother that girl.
Yo, shout out to people who have weird ass brothers that live with them. I don't know how y'all do it. But honestly, I know some of y'all be knowing that your siblings are weird as hell and you be protecting them. You got to stop doing that. Some of these people need to be turned in for real. Don't just have them out and about on the street doing weirdo stuff and you know about it and not say anything. If you see something, you got to say something. So, Priscilla, how are the kids doing? You guys holding up okay on day 3,000 of quarantine?
Right. I don't even know what day it is. Today, my daughter had an actual like classroom. I mean, they've been doing the Google Meets, but it hasn't really been to like teach them anything. It's been just to like say hi to her friends and stuff.
Like check-ins and
so
stuff.
She actually had to present something today, and she was all like nervous and like.
Okay. How's she
I don't
doing?
know. It's crazy to me though, because I'm like, you haven't been out of school that long. Like she acts like she's never done it.
Yo, man, it don't take very long for kids to forget about what school life is like. They can forget that in a 3-day weekend. Are you guys planning to go back to school before the year is over? Or is that done for you guys?
So we got the official email 2 days ago that there will not be school for the rest of the year.
Yeah, I figured that was going to happen. That's what a lot of places are like.
Chromebook, so that's a plus for me.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, man, I feel bad for a lot of these parents getting those emails saying there's no school for the rest of the year, especially if you still have a job, because then you're still trying to balance work and then managing your children. You're trying to be the teacher, also being the chef of the house and being the maid and doing all of that, man. And then there's assholes like me who are just at home playing video games, eating snacks, living the life.
I'm like, I haven't seen my house clean in like 2 weeks. I'm just over it. I'm over trailing around little minions, trying to keep up with them.
Yeah, I mean, you just need to come back. Why don't you just come back and just stay with your parents and let them chase them for a little bit, and then you get some breaks.
I know. I just don't know if I want to be quarantined with my parents either.
Damn. It's like that, huh?
I like my peace. Like I like my kid, you know, it's grandma and grandpa, so my kids beyond 100.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. They have these 3 yippy ass dogs that just like don't even get along with each other. So you always have to watch them or else they're just like piling up on each other fighting.
Damn.
It's just chaos.
Yeah, you sound like you might be better off staying in Vegas.
You know, it's like I love my mom and I'm super close with my dad. My dad I could kick it with forever. I won't get tired of him.
Yeah.
But my mom and I definitely do better when we don't live under the same roof.
It makes sense. Yeah, I feel that about my mom and my sister. Shout out to y'all, but that's a hell no. I'm not trying to live with y'all. Not even like the most I can do with them is like 5 days. And that's not a long time.
Yeah, mothers, right?
Yeah, for sure. Okay, so let me ask you some questions. So we talked about I think it was on Sunday, we talked about having, and it's fine if we don't have anything ready. I want you just to tell us what you know, so we can spend the last 25 minutes kind of diving into this JFK thing. So I'm going to tell you what I know first, which will only take about 13 seconds because I don't know a lot. I know that he was our president. He was a white guy. He has a big family. He used to F with Marilyn Monroe. And then my man got hit with a round to the dome. That's what I know about him. And I know that he smoked a lot of weed too. At least that's what I heard. So what do you know about JFK and why is there so much controversy that surrounds him and his death and a lot of the things that he was a part of?
So I know a lot of it was related to the race to the moon. And I want to say, don't quote me on it, but I believe John F. Kennedy did not believe that we actually went to the moon. And then apparently he was about to release a whole bunch of secret documents regarding not only like contact with extraterrestrial life or aliens or whatever you want to say, but also that like we've been doing this for a very long time and we've actually had one that we've studied.
Like had an alien?
Yeah, that we actually like had one. The government had one that they studied. Have you ever heard of Robert Lazar?
The name sounds familiar because I feel like Joe Rogan is I've heard about him on Joe Rogan's show.
So basically, he's touted now as a conspiracy theorist, but apparently he was hired in the late 1980s to reverse engineer extraterrestrial technology. So apparently they found like this spaceship and this alien, and they hired him to recreate like the technology that they had. And he basically, like, he went to MIT, he was a professor at all these colleges, and then with this information, they basically touted him as like this crazy guy, completely erased all his records of like ever teaching anywhere, even though like he has students that have had lectures with him that were like, yeah, he taught here at such and such date. It's really interesting.
Robert Lazar. Okay, we need to do some research on him.
There's actually, I think on Netflix, there's a really good documentary about him.
Okay, bet. Now I'll have to check that out. Okay, so we're in for this race to the moon. JFK doesn't think we've done any of this. And then Robert pops up, and Robert, I'm assuming, is confirming the stuff that JFK believes. Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's just it in like a nutshell. And I don't want to say too much else because I get my information conflicted. So I'm like trying to think of anything. That's the basis of it, though.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, I want to do a little more on this because all this stuff is interesting to me because I heard multiple things about him, and I think I remember hearing the space stuff. James had talked about this with me one time with the space stuff, but I heard that JFK had some involvement in like marijuana studies, and that someone had, and I don't know if this is true, and maybe my information is conflicted or something. But I was also told that maybe one of the reasons why he was killed is because he was pushing for marijuana to be legalized? Is that a thing?
Yeah, that was a part of it. And like, even the Kennedys as a family have had this sort of reputation over time that they were like the people's people, you know?
Yeah.
And a lot of them, their goal has always been, even now, is just like to help mankind. And obviously, I don't believe that any sort of family in power is not delving into other things. But for a majority, like, they've always been for the advancement of people, whether that be medically, technologically. And yeah, I definitely heard that too, that he was big on the marijuana. And, you know, back then, if you were doing anything sort of radical, you were just not allowed.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's crazy to think, like, say if that is the reason, it's crazy to think that, you know, just, I mean, I know it's a lot of years now, but like, imagine being murdered for something that now the government's making money hand over fist for. Like, you were potentially killed because of that, and now they're like crushing it, getting money from something that they tried to like kind of hush you about. I mean, when that can be said about so many things, like in our world and all that type of stuff. But if that is one thing, like, that's crazy, man. Like, y'all end up killing a dude, and then y'all still ended up finding a way to make money off of this shit somehow. Or it's still a thing. It's not like it went away. It's very interesting.
I just know that, like, I hate hearing people be like, you think the government would really do that? Or wouldn't this be all over the news if it was like that? And it's always funny to me because I'm like, no. Anybody who questions the masses is completely, like, they're deemed a conspiracy theorist or crazy or all these other things. So
yeah,
we'll never really know for sure. But
I mean, I feel like you have to kind of question everything. Like, not everything you hear can just be like, oh yeah, okay. Like, because if you believe just in standard basic logic, half the stuff most people are talking about don't make sense just based on the logic that we're asked to apply to our lives and like kind of live by. You know what I'm saying? Like, a lot of this stuff is like too obvious that it's like not real, or it's too obvious that yes, they would do something like this. Like, so it's crazy that people try to pretend like anyone who thinks that like the government would want to step on like the smaller man to maintain their position. Like, if you don't think that that's a thing, like, you're crazy. Like, come on, man. Like, this is how things go. Kind of brings us to our next point. Priscilla, okay, so you saw this video. Did you see the one where it's two dudes in that briefing room and they're having a discussion? And they're
the congressman?
And they're talking about the numbers.
Oh yeah.
We're real quick. We're not gonna say a ton of details. People are gonna kind of have to decipher for themselves. But I want to know what you think about them based on the word hoax being used and the numbers being, you know, kind of off and skewed. What do you think about that?
I mean, the guy in there said, he goes, "Oh no, it's not a hoax." But I think what the other dude meant by hoax was that it's not what it's being made out to be.
Gotcha. Okay.
And I definitely, I think it's man-made. Like, I think it was created in a lab. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. So I feel like in the video, there's so much in that video that's just like, well, they definitely had prior knowledge of all of this. And then he goes on to say, "Oh, don't worry, we've all been vaccinated for it."
Oh yeah, he did say that.
I'm like, whoa, because he's telling the guy to take off his mask.
Yeah, that's right. He did say that. I forgot about that part. Yeah, that video is very interesting because it's a recording of them like in like a White House briefing room. Is that where it's at? At least that's what it looked like.
Yeah, that's what it's something similar. Like, if it's not the White House, it's a courthouse somewhere.
Yeah, some sort of like briefing room where high-ranking officials probably meet to discuss things. And you have two gentlemen who are in a conversation where one is asking some questions about the virus and the setup and the numbers, and The other guy's basically telling him, hey, don't worry. We've all already been vaccinated. Things are not really what they seem. It's an interesting video to watch as you watch people protest, and then you watch 45 go and do what he's doing and kind of like talk a bunch of bullshit and then, contradict themselves 100 times over. And then you think of all the other people who are urging the masses just to stay home and do all these things. It's like, it's one of these things where when you sit and you listen to all the stuff, it's hard not to just be like, you know what? I'm not going to listen to any fucking body else. I'm just going to do whatever it is I do and live with the consequences. So I'm not going to be surprised once you start seeing more and more people do that, because there's too many people with too many hands involved and there's too many different things of information coming out. Like, who do you trust at this point?
Right. I don't know. That's a good question.
I don't know.
Where I'm at, though, like with this whole quarantine, is I'm just like, and it's not just because I'm overstaying at home. Like, I'm actually kind of getting to a point where it's not so bad anymore.
Yeah, there's
a lot of misinformation out there. That's what I'll say.
Yeah, that's what it seems like. And it's interesting because even like in the Seattle area, I got the feeling that the couple of times that I've had to like leave my house to go grocery shopping or go pick up food, I've gotten the feeling that people out here are kind of at that point where it's not that they don't care.
Right.
But I think they're like, look, we stayed at home for a month. Like, we're going to start, like more and more people are out. And I know they open up the parks and all these things, but like, you're kind of like, I'm seeing more and more people like in packs and walking around. Like, everybody's a little bit closer. Like the 6 feet thing is maybe it's like 3 feet.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I think people are starting to kind of like, I think they're fed up, man. And I don't know if it's that people are just wanting to like, not everybody just wants a haircut. Not everybody just wants to go get a manicure and pedicure. There are some people who just want to be able to like get their kids out, get them to blow off some steam, be able to work out and get back to like normal routines and have some consistency. I think a lot of people are in those places. Like, yes, you have people who are desperate for a haircut, but like, come on, people, put a hat on. You'll be all right without getting a haircut. Comb that shit, put a bandanas, hats, bonnets, fucking do-rags if you really feel it. I mean, there's things you can do for your hair. Like, I don't think getting a haircut is that important, but I don't know, man. We need people to be outside because we need people to get back to being friendly so they'll actually want to treat people with respect again. Everybody's being assholes because they feel like the only thing they can do is go pick up groceries. And people don't like that shit.
So I talked to a good friend of mine from Jersey today, and he trains people and does music. So he's had people at his house.
Oh, nice.
So apparently he's been training people in his yard, and some lady came by and took pictures of him and reported it to the police.
Oh, shit.
And the police showed up at his house and basically asked him like what he was doing. Like,
damn.
Yeah, and they knew his family, so I'm sure it probably would have been worse had they not have, but he was just pretty much like, yeah, some lady turned you in for gathering. That's the term for it.
That's the wild part about this, or one of the wild parts, is that there are really people out here who are seeing people and for some strange reason they want to be the hero, and so they think calling the cops on people is the way to go about that. Ladies and gentlemen, there's too many people out here for all of y'all to now all of a sudden turn into the police. Calling the cops on people for being outside or mind your damn business. You stay at home. Worry about you. Don't worry about what other people are doing. If you see somebody out, don't say nothing to them. Don't give them a hard time. If you're looking out the window, you see people, that's their problem. It's not your problem. Mind your own business. There's no point in that shit.
Yeah, I thought it was crazy.
He's a black dude too, ain't
he? Yeah. I mean, he's black, white, and Puerto Rican. So to me, when I look at him, I see Puerto Rican. But a lot of people don't know that there's like darker skinned Puerto Rican.
Either way, those cops showing up could end up being a bigger problem than he needs to have to deal with. And that's all because somebody's in their feelings and they're like, oh, you're the reason that I'm still having to stay at home. Now I'm going to call the cops. And fuck out of here, man. I'm so tired of that. All these people trying to police other people. Why y'all don't just mind your own damn business? Come on. Get on this Xbox. Read some books, watch some movies, enjoy the time off while you have it. Because when things go back to normal, vacation going to be non-existent because people are going to say, we already paid you to do that. Remember that time when you was on break? Yeah, all that other shit going to be out the window. Just enjoy this time. Spend that time with your family. Play games, make new friends, do all that. Calling the cops on people, that shit's played, man. It ain't 2016 no more. Shit.
I feel like it's creating more of a way to divide people. Like somebody I know got yelled at because they were wearing an N95 mask in a store, and she was like, "Don't you know those are for medical professionals?" What she said, she goes, "Those are for medical professionals. How and the audacity you have for wearing one." I'm getting all my words mixed up.
So like, what if I already had the mask before all this? Now I'm the bad guy because I have the mask that the professionals wear. Like, what does it matter?
Well, that could be from 2014, and you wouldn't even know.
Wildin'. That's the thing. It's like, people, it's okay to just mind your business and not worry about people. It's also okay to look at people and still be friendly, say hello, ask how they're doing, give them well wishes, and keep it moving. There is no reason for all this extra hate. This shit is bad enough as it is. What is the point? Shit is crazy, man.
It's kind of scary. I swear we're like the only country though that acts like that. Everybody else is like banding together.
Yeah, that's what it seems like when you see the videos on the internet. They all seem like they're starting to unite as people, and like we're getting to the point. We have literally people waiting at the Capitol with AR-15s, holding up signs saying that COVID-19 is fake, but wearing a mask, holding up signs that say I need a freaking haircut. Like, look at the things that our people do, and these same people are wearing those stupid red hats still. Y'all are wearing those hats. And then you're protesting the guy who made the hat. I'm so confused. And am I confused because they're confused? Is that what it is? These people are, and I know they call them all kinds of names, but I feel like dummy is appropriate. Dummy is absolutely appropriate.
Dude, we really live in this shit.
I know, man. But I will say the one good thing, and Priscilla, may I vent to you real quick?
Go for it.
I'm going to tell you what my biggest struggle has been this week. So I'm playing NBA 2K, and I'm in my career, and I'm actually starting to get kind of nice. My guy, I mean, I've already been nice at 2K, but my guy's starting to finally get good. We're right around the All-Star break, but I have a problem with a couple of my teammates. LeBron James and Kyle Kuzma. These niggas don't do nothing for me when I play this game. And so all these games are hella close. And I'm supposed to be playing with one of the GOATs. And this light-skinned brother Kyle Kuzma can't make a layup to save his life. This is the toughest thing I'm dealing with this week is almost losing my career games because Kyle Kuzma can't make a damn layup. I should be averaging 15 assists a game. You know how many I'm averaging, Priscilla? 7.3. 7.3. 3. And it should be 15. But Kuzma can't make a damn layup, man. I'm telling you. Let me cool off. But like I said, this is my biggest issue this week is 2K. This shit really is not that bad, man. There's food. I got snacks. Obviously, you can tell I ain't missed a meal in several months at this point, my fat ass. But there's plenty of food. There's snacks. I can take showers. And I have wipes. That was going to be one of my other biggest problems, not having wipes. But I had to connect. Got a big 50-pack worth.
I gotta connect.
Yeah. Listen, man, it's hard out in these streets, man. These are the things I need connects for. So if you're somebody that has a connect on Charmin toilet paper, not Cottonelle. A lot of the stores are only putting out the Cottonelle. They're giving you the cheap shit. Listen, my ass is royalty. I need good toilet paper. So if you got to connect on Charmin, listen, I'll throw you some extra dollars to give me the good stuff. I need the good Charmin, not the cheap crap. Also, I need good wipes. I need the Kleenex brand of wipes. I got money for that. Let me know. So I'm trying to reach out to all my connects. Don't bring me that Cottonelle shit, man. But shout out to the person who brought me the Cottonelle pack. It's got 56. That's a lot. But I actually ripped the first 5 that I was pulling out of there because the package is too small. So I wasted. I actually only got 45 wipes. Still a good deal. But anyway, Priscilla, if you got to connect on wipes, let me know. I'll pay. I got it on me, dog, because I need those Kleenex wipes and the Charmin TP. All right.
You're not willing to branch out to a different brand for the wipes?
Listen, man, I know what my bum needs, and my bum needs the best. And I need to be sure that when I go, that there's no threat of ripping and then dipping. I don't need that, okay? And if you listen, you guys know what I mean by ripping and dipping. I don't want to do that. So I need good toilet paper.
I don't.
I know it's nasty in here now, but oh well, man. Priscilla, what are your weekend plans? What are you doing this weekend? What's cracking?
My weekend plans. I haven't even thought ahead that far.
The weekend's tomorrow, isn't it? What's today? Tomorrow's Friday. I'm tripping. The weekend's 2 days from now. What do you mean?
This is my life these days. It's been 90 degrees out here, so I'm probably going to stay my ass outside and the sprinkler in the pool.
90. I'll be cooking right now. God, I'll be black as Akon. Oh my God.
I'm like Brazilian dark right now.
Yo. You want listen.
I love dark today.
You want me to send you this article with the Chinese doctor and y'all can compare tans? You got to compare your tan, bro. He was looking dark as hell.
There's a supplement you can inject that makes your skin naturally darker.
People who
don't tell me how I know. A lot of bodybuilders use it.
People do the damnedest things. Listen, I know that you guys see all of this beautiful chocolate, and you wanna have it. It comes at a cost, all right? It costs to look this good. Don't hurt yourself trying to get to my level. It's not worth it. You know what I'm doing this weekend? I got to get into some of these documentaries. And I'm going to have a Scream marathon, I think. I need to watch all 4 of the Scream movies. I don't know why. I just feel like I need to do that. So that is my plan for the weekend. And also I don't know, man. I might build like a fort or something. Try to do something, I don't know. Do something, that's going to
build a fort. You should.
Yeah, something that's going to spark up the nostalgia. You know what I'm saying? Like, we might take this time to reflect on the past. I feel like now I'm in a position where as an adult, I wonder how good of a fort I could build with the skills and talents I have at this time. So I think it's worth a shot. It's either going to be that or I'm going to be on these games all freaking week. And freaking iPad always starts talking, fam. Ain't no one talking to you.
She's about to be like, last night visited.
I used to do that all the time when I would record these shows. Like you could just hear the iPad starting to talk in the background. And no, I don't watch porn on the iPad for reasons like that. I don't want the thing to start talking and then pull up my last viewed page or some crazy stuff like that. That's only on my phone, fam. Listen, I'm smarter than y'all think.
2-inch ass.
Smarter than the average bear, that's for sure. We got about 15 minutes, but we're about to throw the music back on in about 5. So first, have you had a chance to check out any of these versus battles? Have you watched any of that?
No, I was about to ask you about those because I haven't actually seen them. I've been too busy in mommy land.
Yeah, so I haven't actually watched any of them either, but obviously the biggest one that we've heard about thus far has been Babyface versus Teddy Riley. Now I'm going to tell you, I guess they had to do this 2 times because the first time they did it, I guess Teddy Riley had some technical issues. Hey, Teddy, it's okay, man. I have technical issues on this show like 2-3 times a week, and I only do 3 shows a week. So listen, it happens to the best of us. But apparently Teddy had technical issues, and that everybody was clowning him. You know how the internet is. They had memes up like that quick, killing him. And then I guess they did it again like on Tuesday or Wednesday. And so I guess they had a battle and it was really great. Everybody loved it. I think it was still clear that Babyface killed it, but now they're trying to do like a Dr. Dre versus P. Diddy one. I think I might check that one out. And I guess what they do is they just play all their best hits that they've created, which is pretty cool because you get to go cut for cut. And it's just like pretty much like a live concert. And it's the 2 of them or 2 of these artists or producers, whatever. And they just play their hits, man. So I guess people are really digging it. And I heard that this is put on by Swiss Beats and Timbaland, and this is something that they had been wanting to do even prior to the pandemic. So I think it's kind of just working out in their favor that everybody's at home. This is the perfect time to have people do these battles. So it seems pretty cool, man.
I'm looking them up right now.
Yeah, you should. So without listening to what they played, who would you pick, Teddy Riley or Babyface?
Oh, that's so hard.
That's what she said.
I have some sort of loyalty to Teddy Riley. I have to say Teddy Riley, but
why do you have loyalty to Teddy Riley?
Oh no, just from like back in the day, I think I told you that my old manager was signed to him and R. Kelly like way back when he was 17.
Shit, yeah, you did tell me that. I don't know why I forgot that shit. You know what? Listen, they both have cuts. But I think
I'm a Babyface fan though.
Yeah, and that's the same for me, man. I like Teddy. Don't get me wrong. I think Teddy has created some of the greatest hits of our time. But Babyface is just like Babyface, Teddy Riley. It's not close, I don't think.
No, you're right.
But Teddy's dope though. Like, I don't know, he's up there like. So if Babyface is like one of the goats of like production and music and all that, then like if there's like a guys, like if this was first team all defense, like Teddy Riley's on second team. So he's still good, but he's just on second team. That's it. Yeah, I'm interested for this Dr. Dre P. Diddy. I already know who's already won this. It's Dr. Dre. I think that one's obvious too. Because I can't think of, I know P. Diddy has produced a lot of classic cuts, but I can't actually think of like an artist that P. Diddy has that would actually compare to just like literally just, we could just look at Snoop, Eminem, Game, and Kendrick, and that will wipe out any and everybody that P. Diddy has. Because all of those guys are multi-platinum and all this. Everybody else Diddy has was always looking for a way to get out of that slave contract that they were under. So they only come with maybe 1, maybe 2 good songs. The other people that I name have multi-platinum like albums that have charted and done all these things. I don't think that shit will be close. What do you think?
I don't know. I'm that one. P Diddy is out for me.
Why is that? Because some of his stuff is ass.
Yeah.
I mean, he does have Biggie though. That's the thing, is that he has an ace in the hole, and that's Biggie. But I don't think one Biggie is enough to defeat a Snoop, a Game, an Eminem, and a Kendrick. That's too much firepower.
I'm a West Coast fan.
Yeah.
I don't know. Diddy himself as a person is just corny to me, like his whole thing. But I will give him he has a lot of business sense. Like he's good at being a mogul. Yeah, but for sure. As far as like hits, like you said, Biggie's about to. I don't know.
Yeah, like I said, I can think of
ready for me, dog.
I can think of like a handful of cuts that Diddy has where I'd be like, oh, this could match up against some songs, but you know, after a while, like you just start naming stuff that Dre has produced and created, and you'd be like, all this shit will start to the wave will get bigger and bigger, and then it'll drown Diddy's shit with ease. But hopefully we'll see. But I'm gonna check out the next versus battle. I don't know how they announced those, but I started just following the page on IG. So I think if you're looking to check them out, just follow that shit, and that's where I think they've been posting them at. So hopefully that shit will be fire. But any last words before we close out the show?
I got nothing.
All right. I do have a question though. You might know this. I'm sure there's other people who know this. Where is Bruce Lee's grave? I know that it's out here somewhere. Where is it?
I have no idea.
I guess I could Google it.
Yeah, it's on 1554 15th Avenue East.
Is that for real where it is? You looked it up that quick?
Yeah, it says Bruce Lee and Brandon Lee gravesite.
If that's accessible by bike or walking, that's probably where I'm going to go tomorrow after I get off work.
That'd be dope.
Yep, might as well. Oh, Markel, if you're still listening, photo shoot idea. Me with Bruce and Brandon, because that would be a dream come true. Bruce Lee is one of my heroes. So, thank you for tuning in.
Photo shoots for days.
Listen, man, we're trying to make this shit hot. And then we can get you guys all in the same spaces, we'll take ones as a group. But no one's here, and I can't see y'all. So yeah,
I ain't tripping about that. You're fine.
Pull up. So I'm trying to get everybody in a photo. Plus, we gotta take them in our do-rags.
I got quarantine bod.
Listen, do-rags, FUBU gear, band-aids on faces. We'll get tip and drill popping, and we'll get Markel to shoot it. Hey, all right. I'm closing this shit out, man, because I'm ready to take my ass to sleep. So, Priscilla, it's been real. Do you have any last words? Nothing? She probably just hung up.
Oh, no, I'm here.
Oh, I say, you got any last words? Do you want to do any shout outs to anybody before we close this off?
No, go for it.
All right, no shout outs today. Well, shout out to you for joining the show. Shout out to Markel. Shout out to Jared for being in the chat. Shout out to everybody that's tuned in. And like I said, if you're watching this long ass video, be sure to follow all my social media platforms. Go in, follow all my friends, book your photo shoot if you're interested in that. Shout out to Tribe Talk, shout out to Sherry, shout out to Track Talk Radio. Hopefully you guys stay tuned in after this, because the Ryan show starts in a few minutes. That's a dope show. So shout out to the guys over there. I don't know, man. There really ain't much else. Tomorrow is my first episode. It's not really an episode. Our first podcast for Starters on the Bench is going to be on Twitch. So follow me on Twitch. We will not be on YouTube. This won't be on Track Talk. That would be awesome if it was, but this is going to be on another platform. So Starters on the Bench debuts tomorrow at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. It's only an hour-long show. Sports, video games, music and books only. So get ready because I have a lot to talk about. Especially we're going to talk about ASAP Rocky and why he seems to think that he's the reason why people wear Air Force Ones.
Oh my
Pass, bro. You are not the reason anyone wears Air Force One. But I'm going to talk about that on Starters on the Bench. So tune in to Minkle Jackson ENT on Twitch. Follow me. Subscription is $5 a month, but if you have an Amazon Prime membership, it's included in that. So log in with your Prime stuff and you can follow my page for $3. And free is always good. I don't know. There really isn't nothing else. 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, Starters on the Bench. It's on Twitch tomorrow. The stream is over. If you're on Track Talk Radio, stay tuned for one more song, and then the Ryan Show is after that. Good night. All right, man. Closing this out. Priscilla, it's been real. Are you gonna join the show on Sunday? I mean, you can join tomorrow if you want. I don't know if I'm really planning to have people on the other one, but on Sunday.
No, we'll back here. I'll catch up with you on Sunday. I'm like, fuck, I don't even read books because I don't have time.
No, you all good. Yeah. We'll be back on Sunday on Track Talk Radio and on YouTube. I appreciate you joining the show. I'm gonna call you tomorrow though.
All right, sounds good.
All right, later. We out, y'all. Thank you for tuning in. Be sure to like and subscribe. Follow all my social media and everything. Follow all my beautiful friends. You guys are amazing. Thanks for the love and support. The shit is over. Over.